When you arrive the UK, you don't start with any credit history at all. That can be a challenge because your credit history impacts everything that you do here, from getting a credit card to applying for loans, even renting a place to live or buying a mortgage. Finally, hey, I got my credit card. I got my first credit card in the UK after I moved to the UK in 2023. You can't even imagine how long I have been wanting to have a credit card, build my credit score to such a place where I'll be able to get a credit card. And honestly, it has been a journey. I have tried to watch so many videos on how to build your credit score and eventually get a credit card, but it wasn't just forthcoming. So at first I thought, okay, what is going on? But finally, guys, I got my first credit card in the UK. And I'm making this video especially for new migrants who do not know anything about credit card or how to build a credit score, or what factors can reduce your credit scores, or what you can do, to be able to get your own credit card faster than I did. I got my own exactly 18 months after I moved to the UK, and I think I should have got it earlier, but I didn't know the way people were doing it. See, as immigrants in the UK particularly, because that's where I am, you thrive on information. Honestly, believe me, you need information at every stage. It will make your journey faster. So in today's video, I'm going to be explaining how you can build your credit score, what I did to build my credit score, and how I was able to eventually get a credit card. If you're interested in learning about how to increase your credit score, because it is like a stagnant water, it's neither going up nor coming down, or if you need to know anything about how to get a credit card, please do like this video, sit back and watch to the end, but share this video out, and as much as possible consider subscribing to this channel. Thank you. Again, my name is Bimbo. I'm a Nigerian trained pharmacist and a UK care assistant. First thing first, what do you need to know as a newcomer? When you arrive the UK, your credit history is null, zero. You don't have a perfect credit score, and so it becomes a challenge because you don't have a credit history that impacts anything. You have to start from scratch, and as a result, you cannot access any loan. Even to buy a phone on contract becomes a hassle. I remember when I first came and my son smashed my phone accidentally, and then I needed to get a new phone. Unfortunately for me, everywhere I went to, they denied me, a contract. Every phone contract or any contract whatsoever, they would contract a third party company to conduct a credit search on you and find out if you have any credit history, how good is your credit history, and all of that. But in my own case, because when I came at Heathrow Airport, I got a SIM card, that's Leica Mobile, and I didn't know that I should have done direct debits, to be getting my SIM card credited with. So I was doing it manually. Once my account was zero, I would just credit my account by myself. So I had no direct debit whatsoever, even though we had already got a house and we were paying rent and all of that. I went to I went to Vodafone, I went to all these places, even Three. If you know Three Mobile, like, it's the easiest where you can get a phone contract. I went there. When they all conducted a search, they found out that they couldn't give me a contract. It was so frustrating for me. So in order to avoid this, I'm going to let you know what you can do in your own case. If you have a SIM card that you got from maybe the airport, just like me, a SIM card that is not on contract, please try as much as possible to go and swap it. You can retain that number but swap to another network entirely, where you can be on contract, and they can be deducting money on a monthly basis as direct debits. That would help your credit score to grow. The second thing that you need to know is, many people, when they arrive the UK, they open like an online bank accounts like Revolut, like Monzo, that don't have like physical structures. In my own case, I opened Revolut as well as Lloyds. That also helped my credit score to grow. So in the UK, there are three main credit agencies. We have Experian, we have Equifax, and TransUnion. Meanwhile, each of them can give you, slightly different credit scores. Because for me, I was busy checking my credit scores on Lloyd's because, every 7 days your credit scores get updated. So usually every 7 days when I get the notification, I would quickly go there and check. And the first score that I noticed was about 560. So that was 560 when we came. And that was because the third week of arriving in the UK again, after we opened the bank account, we registered on the electoral register. So we are registered on the electoral platform. We just checked online, electoral platform, how to register for election in your council. So we were able to register, even though it wasn't even our address at that time. We registered with that address where we were at that time. And when we got our own place, before the letter came, we changed the address. So by the time I first checked my first credit score, it was about 560, which I think was fair. After I got the same contract, I was paying monthly. I was doing monthly direct debit on my SIM, and my credit score began to grow gradually. It got to like 580. It was slow. So many weeks I would check and it would just be unchanged. It would just be the same figure. I'll check on Lloyd's, my Lloyd's online bank app, right? Credit score went low, it's reduced, and I was surprised. So I tried to figure out what happened. So usually when your credit score is altered, you get to see why. So when I checked, I saw that it says that I have opened more than one account in the last six months or something. I can't really remember. So when I went to inquire, I found out that it was because I used K-Lana. When you shop online, basically, for me on Shein, there was a time I heard, okay, you can shop and, pay in installments using maybe ClearScore. Is it ClearScore now? Clear something and K-Lana. So they will deduct, like if you have purchased something worth £40 online, they can be deducting every month for 3 months. They will divide that 40 into 3 and be deducting installments for the next 3 months. So that was what I did. I purchased something, I used K-Lana. Within a short while, I purchased another thing, used K-Lana again, and that I didn't know was a bad idea. That for me altered my credit score and it went down. You are paying in installments, you're not purchasing something and paying outrightly. Please try to space it. Don't do it like don't do so many credits at the same time. You give it about 6 months before you can try another one. And that also reminds me, when I was trying to get a phone contract, it got to a point that these network providers told me that they couldn't even conduct a search because I'd conducted too many searches within a short while, that I had to wait for the next 3 months before they can even conduct another search. Otherwise, it would impact my credit score negatively. After a year in the UK, we changed our address because we had to move from England to Northern Ireland. And when we came here, I usually read that when you change address, you should update it on the electoral register and also on your bank. So we quickly changed our addresses on these platforms. On our bank, we changed the address on the app and also on the electoral register. And at that time, I just saw that my credit score went down by 14 points again. And that even took me further backwards. I'm talking about something recent. It took me back to 550. If it goes forward like by 2 steps, it comes backwards like by 4 steps. So at that point, I was already giving up. And then each time I try to get a credit card, apply for a credit card, it says I'm not eligible. That is on Lloyd's app. It keeps saying I'm not eligible. And obviously my credit score was still poor. It's still poor, 550, poor. So I had to raise a dispute. When I checked, I found out that they said I'm not registered on the electoral of the place where I'm living at the moment. So I had to raise a dispute that yes, even though I have changed address, I have applied, I have the certificate, because I was given a certificate from the council to say that I had been registered on the electoral register. Meanwhile, I even casted my votes. I casted my votes in 2024. So after the dispute, they added more to my credit score and it went up by 8 points, making 558. At this point, I won't even lie, I was already giving up. Like, it seems like getting a credit card is a mission that can never be accomplished. And each time I apply on Lloyds Bank app, it keeps saying that I'm not eligible. So what's up? So let me try to use Experian to calculate my credit score. And they'll ask you some questions like how much is your income. I had to a bit inflate it because I don't even know how much my income is. And then how many dependents do you have? Usually I used to put 2 because I have 2 kids, but this time around I put 0. I said 0 dependents. How much are you spending on rent from your this thing? I put 0, just to make sure that all my income, it's more like there's no expenditure. I use Experian. My credit score came back as 880, and I was like, wow. So it further gave me the option to apply for a credit card, which I did, and my credit card was approved. So I got a credit card from Capital One. I had other options, but I got from Capital One, and I was given a credit limit of £500. So I've received my PIN. I'm still waiting to get my credit card, like the physical card. So I am so excited, and I'm so happy to share with you that I have my first credit card now. So if you're a new immigrant and you want to get a credit card, if you have been able to do all of those things that I mentioned, you have been able to register on the electoral register, you're on the electoral register, you have rented a house, you have a direct debit, maybe paying your rent or paying your bills, you have a credit history already, and then each time you check your bank app, it keeps giving you a very low score. Why not try to use Experian to calculate your credit score? A credit card can either make you or it can mar you. So it depends on how you use it. A credit card is like a weapon. You can use it, you can fashion it against yourself, or you can use it to your advantage. So talking about how to use your credit card now, try as much as possible to be paying off your balances in full and on time, and don't use more than 25% to 30% of your credit limit. In my own case now, I have a credit card with a £500 credit limit, and I have decided I'm not going to use anything above £125 in a month. So that's what I'm going to spend from that card in a month. Basically, I'm going to be using my card for grocery shoppings, buying little things. After 18 months of building up my credit score with small steps, I finally got approved by Capital One. For me, the key was patience and consistently working to improve my credit profile over time. Talking about setbacks, of course, there were setbacks. Of course. So credit score challenges are inevitable, and part of those challenges are the ones I have, shared with you from my own story. So my journey to a better credit score wasn't without some setbacks, and I've been able to explain what setbacks I experienced. For K-Lana or Klarna, the installment payments, it can be a blessing and it can be a curse.